In order for Alexander to be sovereign, it's going to be necessary for us to build all of our corporate entities to become a assurance that we have long-standing revenues to do the things we need to do. So when we set out 4 years ago to begin building this path, ABC was designed to become a place where we would rely on our ability to think about becoming a sovereign nation. We've attained many of those goals by the investments we've done, and we've started to lay the foundation for us to become a corporate entity that's going to change how things are done here in Alexander. Alexander's proximity to Heartland becomes a major vehicle for us to build on. I think that because of our proximity, Alexander is the most impacted nation in all of Heartland. So I'm hoping that our focus to create relationships in Heartland and start to build on some of the business opportunities, which are just a stone's throw away from our community, will become our future opportunities. In addition to that, we've looked at expanding our corporate position by investing in solar. We've invested in a solar Tilly farm. We're also investing in things like the tubular company, the valve company. We're also looking at doing things like directional drilling, which are still part of the pipeline activity, but it's important for us to start to get into mainstream business opportunities that are providing direct services to the industry. We can only get to where we are with the commitment of people on our boards, council members who are supporting the direction we're taking, and the community to be involved in understanding how we're going to do business. We're unlike other corporations where we have a board that's primarily functional to themselves. In our case, we're responsible to the community, and part of our responsibility and accountability is to ensure that we have people involved, and our leadership here in Alexander has been very supportive of us getting involved in the multitude of businesses that we're doing now. And the board members that are part of our board are giving us clear direction and working with us in a very positive way. I'm hoping that as chairman of the board, we can ensure that we're accountable to the people, that we'll be able to show them where ABC is going, where our corporate entities are investing, and how these things are going to benefit the community. Over time, I believe that as we grow, more and more people will be interested in the activities that we undertake. And the activities we do undertake will all be activities that would be disclosed to the community, so that the community will be aware that we're investing in the various groups, whether it's valves, whether it's solar, whether it's hydrogen, whether it's CCUS, or any of the things that are presently being done. I think that over time we will learn the best way to report to the community. We haven't figured it out yet, but we're on a path. We're on a path to figure out how we need to report to the community, because we have competitors we still need to understand and work with, so we can disclose all of this information in a direct manner. It has to be disclosed a little bit differently. When we first set out, we anticipated that we'd run into some bumps on the road. We anticipated that it would take us some time to get involved in investing, because really we're investing without a lot of capital. We don't have money to invest, so we always have to be innovative in how we're undertaking our business opportunities. I think we've been able to cross that bridge. We've been able to figure out how Alexander needs to be involved and what kind of partnerships we're getting involved in. And we are now taking bigger percentages of the business partnerships as time goes on. I'm hoping that in time we will be able to show the community that we will have very positive business results and financial statements that will show a good result for all the community as a long-term investment. We can get involved in businesses, all kinds of businesses, but I think it's even more important we get involved in businesses that people understand, and that we are making sure that we're still looking after Mother Earth in that process, and that we're getting involved in businesses that make sense for the community, where we can create employment, where we can create opportunities for people to get involved in. It's going to take us some time, but I think we're well on our way, and the path to success is just right around the corner. And I'm hoping that by year end, we'll be able to show a positive result to all the community.
At the creation of ABC, I was honored with the role of CEO from a great leadership team that wanted to build something for Alexander in terms of own source revenue for our people for the future. I believe that 100%. I think that's the way we need to go. When we started, it was a bit tough creating this. This is brand new. This is a new idea. This takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of support from leadership, from community. Building something like this takes a long time, and I'm glad we've done it in a quick, short years, 5 years. It's been a lot of work with a lot of solid businesses we created so far to date. I look forward to those businesses generating substantial revenue for the nation for the future, for our kids and their kids and so on and so forth. I always tell the members we should look at and be proud. We have businesses that are going to be operating in 50 years and be proud of that it's been operating for 50 years. Those are things we could be proud of. I'm excited about those types of things. I got to give a lot of credit to Chief Arcand. Chief George Arcand's been a blessing in terms of support, bringing that level of expertise and experience with his career, bringing that home to help build ABC. I don't think we could have done it without him. And notwithstanding the leadership team he has, the council beside him to support him. We need everybody, all of us, to be all pointing in the same direction. One arrow, as they say. One arrow can only shoot one way, and we all have to be focused on that vision. We've been focusing on Heartland as part of our strategic direction and developing our businesses around that Heartland area. There's about a couple $2 billion in services being contracted out each year over there. So that's where we want to get to, and that's long-term employment, careers, and revenue for our nation. I believe in the next 5 years, we can expect substantial revenues starting by 2028, 2029, $5 million annually to the nation here with great support. I think immediately employment opportunities are going to be rampant, substantial. A lot of training coming over the next little while. I believe Heartland specifically, a lot of industrial work. Those are long-term career jobs for our members. Instead of journeying out into other parts of this province, we want good careers here at home. To you all, my members, I believe we have the opportunity in front of us here to be a very, very successful nation. You can hear about the other successful nations, the Fort McKays and Mikisew, some of the nations up in Fort McMurray, providing for their members. We're so close, I believe, within this next 5 years, we're going to be a giant in this space. I think Alexander is going to be the leader in terms of business development, business operations, employment, careers for the next foreseeable future here in the Treaty 6 territory, especially around Edmonton, with the opportunities and businesses we've built for you.
My name's Chris Vanderberg. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Alexander Business Center. Born and raised in Whitecourt, Alberta, just north of Alexander. Grew up in the bush, hunting, fishing, quadding, camping. Moved after Whitecourt to Edmonton for university, where I took forestry and business. After university, I moved up to Grand Prairie and Slave Lake, working for a large utility business. And really that's where I got introduced to working with communities. I worked with communities across Alberta, BC, all across Canada, even into New Zealand for a couple years. In 2018, I came back home to work with Alexander. My current role with Alexander First Nation is the Chief Operating Officer of ABC. So that's the parent unit for all of our businesses that we have. My job is to work with industry, with our partners, with our companies, to try to drive value, training, employment, revenue, community investment, and now equity to the community. The future is bright for ABC. We've built a number of companies, Alexander Tier 1 businesses. Tier 2 businesses, we have partnerships with many companies. I've seen such great growth by ABC, and the support from the community, the leadership is tremendous. I'd like to see that continue. By all of us working together, we're going to see more benefit. Industry's coming to the table now. These relationship agreements that the community is getting with municipalities and with industry is going to drive more and more business, which means more and more benefit to the community. 2,400 band members, we're all a big team here. We're all here to represent the community, to try to drive as much value as we can back to Alexander.
I've had an excellent experience working with Alexander First Nation, with the Business Council, and being embraced by the community. We have so many aligned areas where we want diverse job opportunities, but also diversity in the employment opportunities that we offer in our businesses. And so the relationship between Alexander Business Center and Sturgeon County has definitely grown over the last few years. The Chief and Ian have been very bullish very early on to just constantly show up in person, face to face, to have the conversations, to build the relationships, to build the trust, to build the awareness needed to be able to have those strong and enduring partnerships. So if we continue to interface both socially and culturally, we will have a better understanding of the truth of what our history is, and we'll also have a better understanding of what the truth of what our future needs to look like. And so for us to be able to come together and have those conversations to increase our understanding of one another is going to help us be able to create a future that works for everybody. The sky's the limit for us in a number of ways, and I really do look forward to continuing that strong working relationship.
For Shell Canada, entering into a good neighbor agreement with Alexander First Nation has been exceptional. I think very aligned in the strategic goals for the nation, and it aligns certainly with where Shell wants to go. From Shell's perspective on Alexander Business Corporation, probably some of the best relationship building that I have seen. It's very open, it's very honest, and certainly again, the collaboration between the two groups has been really, really commendable. They are clear on how we can approach the market properly and how we can again build these relationships that are meaningful for the community. It's exciting of what's to come. So more to come.
I've had a couple of years working with the Alexander First Nations and Ian and Chris specifically. They have great leadership. It's consistent. I think that they're an organization that has invested in their community, has invested the time and effort so that they can be well positioned for future growth. As organizations like mine, we have a need to look for partners and opportunities to try to promote community and local engagement. And Alexander has really kind of fit the bill in a number of ways. There's a massive boom of activity in this market, and they're set to participate in that boom. I think it's been a great working relationship thus far, and I hope it continues on well into the future.
I've been with Trans Mountain for about 5 years now, and how I would describe my experience working with them is collaborative and progressive. We've been always able to have honest and open dialogue, and it's always been very positive working with leadership from Alexander because they've had great opportunities and successes both on our expansion project and with our operations as well. What I've seen that's really setting them apart is that they're turning their attention to different lines of business from what First Nations have conventionally or historically done. Some of the areas that they're also getting into is chemicals and blasting and coating, and again, some of these areas that are just very different. For example, Alexander Valve, they're the only valve company that's First Nation owned or even affiliated. So that's a great opportunity for industry to work with a company like that. Thank you to Alexander and to their leaders and to their nation as a whole for the opportunity it's been to work with them over the last 5 years. It's been an absolute privilege, and I look forward to the many years ahead that we have working together.
My experience dealing with Alexander First Nation executive, their business leadership and their companies has been very positive. Solaris Murphy joint venture was the first client to work with Alexander First Nation. We found them to be very responsive, focused on business, and supplying a good service to us and to our client, and ensuring that everything was done safely and efficiently. They've engaged us in identifying projects together, not just waiting for projects to come. They wanted to be a true partner. I find they have really good people. They've invested money in the equipment and training of their people, and also they're really engaged with their clients, which makes our job a lot easier as a business partner.
My name is Sam Paunessa. I'm the operations manager for Alexander Gas Bar. We're a full-service gas station, food service establishment on the nation, owned by the nation. So all the members on the nation own a percentage, and the nation runs it 100%. So before the store was established, we were in a trailer right by the new Public Works building across the street. The store probably carried 12 different items of an assortment. We had maybe 6 members working there. Once the store was built, it was fully set up. We carry everything within the store, from propane to firewood to ice to all the products for automotive. We bring in new items, we rotate items out, so customers have a full assortment here within the nation of products. We also have a full serving kitchen where we do hot food. So we're a one-stop shop on the nation here. You don't have to leave. We employ 16 nation members here at the gas bar. We have people that seek us out and come out here from the city. You know, we draw different cultures and different ethnics out here, including our First Nation members. And I think it's a great establishment. It's a great accomplishment.
My name is Brendan Day. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Alexander Safety, one of the band-owned entities of the Alexander First Nation, and we are industrial safety service provider here in Alberta. The partnership with Alexander has been great. We were introduced to Alexander in their business center about 5 years ago, and we knew right away that it would be strong. They're, I'd say, an industry leader in the industrial Indigenous business space, and just what they do and their focus and their drive for not just their community but for their partners in the area is fulfilling. Lots of exciting things to come. There's a lot of major industrial projects happening right next door to the Alexander First Nation. The safety company here, as well as the other partners, are going to be at the forefront on those projects, and we have a good runway here for the next 10 years in that space. So we're looking forward to getting going, and with what we're seeing in the Heartland region, in the industrial space, is going to be good for Alexander, not just for the businesses, but for the people of Alexander. The training, the employment opportunities that we're seeing are going to be substantial. I think it's going to be a good opportunity for everyone to be introduced to the industrial space and have some good opportunities for years to come.
My name is Cindy Yellowdirt. I am an Alexander band member. I also run the security division as the operations coordinator under the Alexander Contracting and Construction. We are able to offer a wide variety of services, so whether it be on a pipeline or a laydown yard or offices, a leisure center, we can provide that, whether it be access control, foot patrol, mobile patrol, scan card systems, we've done it all. Whether it be local or remote throughout Alberta. So for the future of Alexander Security, we want to target an abundance of employees. I also want to offer training for flagging and traffic control for all of our security guards to offer another service. We want to be able to offer opportunity for our band members to experience growth in a career. I got into this service because I started out as a security guard and ultimately wanted to share the opportunity and the experiences that I had to our band members to give them motivation to do it themselves.
My name is Janet Campbell, and I'm the manager for the Alexander Commercial Development. The Alexander Commercial Development was incorporated to hold the head leases and subleases for Alexander First Nation. Alexander First Nation designated a number of parcels of land in Alexander 134 and Alexander 134A. The 134A designation was for a light commercial, industrial. In Alexander 134, we have the core area where we actually have the Alexander gas bar, so commercial opportunities. We have the Alexander Beach, which we are currently working on doing a tourism site. And we have the Alexander Industrial Park, which we're currently trying to generate interest from the Heartland to bring some of their entities here. So Alexander assigns the head leases to a wholly owned band corporation, which is the Alexander Business Center. They in turn have a division, which is Alexander Commercial Development, who drafts and prepares the leases and permits and maintains the administration of the designated parcels of land. So that's what my office does. We work very closely with all the other entities within the business center to bring in interested parties who are looking at finding locations for their businesses. One of the most successful business opportunities that ABC has undertaken is the development of the Alexander Gas Bar. So that's a perfect example of how a parcel of land is designated and the band votes on it, and the business is developed, and was a decision that it would be the Alexander Gas Bar. The Alexander Gas Bar generates a huge amount of money, and that money in turn, not only the service that the store provides, but the money also is returned to the community in a number of different ways. All other projects that ABC does with ACD, that's the goal. The goal is that it'll generate some type of income for job opportunities, revenue, long-term employment, whatever you dream you can think of to do. We are currently looking at developing the Alexander Industrial Park on 1 through 4. We've been talking with a number of entities, proponents, who have shown an interest. So right now we're working very closely with the AFN community to bring in infrastructure, and we have to work with the plans that not only with the federal government but with the municipalities. So right now we are in negotiations with Lac St. Anne and the new water line that they're bringing in, and we're also in negotiations with Sturgeon County to increase the water intake outflow that Alexander currently receives. I also know that ABC is hoping to expand beyond the Alexander designated lands as far as commercial properties go, and so that's on the table. We're looking at preparing for some great opportunities that'll happen with some of our current partners and within our current partnerships. Alexander a designated core area, and we did a survey for the community to ask them what kind of services that they were interested in, and the survey, interestingly enough, presented a number of great opportunities. And I think Alexander Commercial Development will be hosting some type of community engagement to talk about, the findings of the survey and to see, get some direction on how to move forward on that. So some of the items were a restaurant of some type, a coffee shop type of thing, a car wash, a laundromat. So some really interesting things. But again, any of those that require additional infrastructure costs need to be negotiated with the band and with the band program. So there's a lot of work that needs to happen. So I think the engagement that comes about first is going to be important, because that'll give us the push to say this is part of the growth of the community that we'd like to see.
My name is Ken Braggett. I'm the President and CEO of Alexander Valve and Supply. Alexander Valve and Supply is a distribution service company providing all types of parts and products and services to the energy sector. Alexander Valve and Supply is extremely unique. It's got service, it's got supply, it's got a whole bunch of different areas that we can expand into. That represents a lot of possibility for different revenue streams, which will mean, one thing that I'm still very passionate about is creating jobs. We're never going to stop fighting for what we're trying to achieve. which is growing Alexander Valve and Supply to be one of the biggest players in the supply industry ever. I think the biggest and most exciting thing about Alexander Valve and Supply's future is the traction that we have gotten in the last few years. And we're looking at getting into different divisions. We're looking at offering more product, and that's exciting. I look back at last year's Treaty Day, and young Rocky Arcan from the summer student program showed so much dedication and commitment to the company and wanting to continue to work. And I made him a promise at Treaty Day last year that if you worked hard, you got your grade 12, and we would give you a job. And he did that. And I'm very proud of him, and we're excited for his future and then the next wave.
My name is Adam Wirtz, and I'm the operations manager for Alexander HDD LP. We are a horizontal directional drilling contractor, which is a method of trenchless installation for power lines, communications lines, water, sewer, and oil and gas pipelines. We started the company just about 3 years ago, and it's one of the Tier 1 companies that's owned by Alexander Business Corporation. It's meant quite a bit of additional employment for band members and revenue for Alexander First Nation. We've been building our company's reputation within the industry and increasing our client base and gaining more consistent revenue and work, which gives us the opportunity to employ more of the members of Alexander. Well, Alexander HDD is looking to increase our fleet with a couple different sizes of rigs, which will give us the ability to diversify our client base, cater to more different customers, and we're planning to build a new shop on the First Nation land where we can call our permanent home base and increase our opportunities for the people there. I've learned a lot from the people at Alexander First Nation, getting an inside look at the community, and I've been impressed, and it's a positive atmosphere, and I've enjoyed it a lot.
My name is Jeff Fields. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Alexander Asphalt and Concrete and Civil. We're a paving, asphalt, concrete, earthworks company. Alexander Asphalt and Concrete is a Tier 1 entity, which means Alexander First Nations owns Alexander 100%. What that means is that we're trending towards doing more work in the municipalities, not so much oil and gas, more close to the heartland, and basically in the Edmonton market is what we're looking for. What's in store in the future is very bright for Alexander Asphalt and Concrete. As you can tell in Alberta, there's lots of people moving in daily. They're building roads, and there's a real shortage right now of companies that do what we do. So the future for Alexander couldn't be any better right now. The timing is perfect. We're a one-stop shop here that basically does everything from the ground up, and so the opportunities here are going to be great in the next 3 to 5 years. What's important to me is the opportunities we're going to bring for employment. That's what's important. That's why we get into this. That's what excited me about this. The opportunity. I mean, this is going to be a growing business the next 3 to 5 years, and there's going to be. And what I love about this business, it's not something you have to go to university for 8, 10 years. You can start with a shovel in your hand, and you can work your way up to the pavers. You can work your way up to concrete finishers. You can work your way up to dozers, hose operators, and it's a very good income living here in Alberta because there's lots of work, there's lots of hours, and it's a great opportunity for people who are looking for careers and futures.
My name is John Kopchenko. I'm the General Manager of Alexander Building Solutions. And my function is to create an organization that grows, develops, employs, and generates revenue for Alexander. So our partnership is a little different than some of the other companies. We're directly owned by the business corporation, and so there is no other partner than the corporation. What it means is, as our other partners are going through and fulfilling projects for the Tier 1 and Tier 2 vendors, such as Dow or TC Energy, we can provide a construction service to those places. So it allows us to have a more complete package when we're responding to the needs of our customers and partners. The future for Alexander Building Solution holds a lot of great things. 2 years ago in September, we had 4 guys on a roof. We peaked this spring at 45 guys. And so we've seen a lot of growth and given a lot back to the community. We've helped them construct projects at very reasonable costs so that, the contributions of what we give to them is not only money to the members of Alexander, but the ability to put up a higher quality building on the nation. So our original plan was to build a foundation of people and company by projects on the nation and then grow off the nation. So this year we have projects at 4 different nations right now. And so, our goal this year will be to have over 55 staff working in the peak of our summer. As the world literally faces a trade skill deficit, we have a great opportunity to generate really meaningful work for the members of Alexander. Currently we have almost 80% of our staff as Alexander members, and as we go through and train them, they'll be able to not only run projects on the nation themselves, but they'll also be able to run projects anywhere in the world. So we'll create that skill and capacity on Alexander that very few nations are able to do. We currently have 11 apprentices, so the training program is equally important to us as the revenue generation part of it. We need the revenue to create the dollars to be able to train the people and keep the company successful and whole. I think it's just a really amazing opportunity for everyone involved.
My name is Travis Drew. I'm the president of Alexander Sandblasting Coating. So we primarily do abrasive blasting and painting and coating in the industrial sector. So we primarily take care of pipelines. We would work into the industrial plants, chemical, pulp and paper, pretty much any of that kind of background. So our partnership is a Tier 1 business. The nation owns majority stake of the company. I am the managing partner. There is 4 owners. We have currently right now Alexander Sandblasting Coating. It'd be myself, and then we have 2 other private investors that are kind of working behind the scenes. The partnership means a lot to both the nation and myself. This is a specialty service, so it kind of adds to its complexity and serviceability when we go out and do a project. So we have various different opportunities for employment. We're working with the union right now to set up a training facility, either one at our facility at Inshore Park, or we're also going to be looking at a potential opportunity for a 2-week to a 6-week course at the nation, and finding a project on the reserve that actually has an opportunity to train anywhere from 10 to 20 people. That's what we're looking at doing in the next few months. We're taking over the facility, the Old Dragon sandblasting painting facility in Inshore Park. So we're looking at a shop environment. So that would take more of the fabrication components, plastic and coating, those opportunities. And then we're also looking at taking over some of the field opportunities in the oil and gas, primarily Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo region, that is, and any of the other areas that would require large quantities of sandblasting and coating. That could range from, you know, a typical pump box to various different conveyor belt systems, cleaning applications. There's a lot of different opportunities out there, but we try to take the stronghold in the market. We want to be at least a top 3 provider for sandblasting and coating within the next 5 years. I think, you know, just have an opportunity for everyone to come and have an advantage to meeting the ownership group, talking to various people that are already in the trades, and they understand, you know, the dynamics of what they're getting into. It gives every potential employee an opportunity to look at, you know, the opportunities that lie ahead. Not just the industrial space, but the same union that we're going to be affiliated with, which is Local 177, also has affiliation to the painters and coating, drywall. You can look at some decorative stuff. So there's a lot of, the skill and the trade itself is way wider than I had originally anticipated or thought of, dealing with the, you know, industry that I come from. So yeah, it's a lot of potential there, and I think a great opportunity for everybody to be involved.
So I'm Tony Quinlan. I'm the president and CEO of Alexander Tubular. We are a high-density polyethylene manufacturing facility located in the Edmonton region. We produce high-density polyethylene pipe to support a multitude of sectors in industry. So as an example, the infrastructure sector for water management, so the movement of water. We also make pipe for the gas sector, so companies like ATCO, Federation Co-op. And as well, we make pipe for telecommunications, so companies like TELUS, Rogers, Facebook, or Meta. We make conduit pipe for them as well. It's a unique partnership that the Alexander First Nation has through its arm called the Alexander Business Corporation. We've got a combination of nation ownership as well as private equity. Combined together provides a strong base for all stakeholders to be able to take advantage of entering the marketplace, especially with nation support. So having sat down with Chief and Council in December of 22 and presenting the idea to them of getting into something that even Chief Arcan would say was fairly novel to him and to the nation, but being able to present that opportunity to them while at the same time being able to demonstrate who the stakeholders were going to be beside the nation, really gave Chief and Council a lot of confidence to move ahead with the program.
With the hard work of many people, we've been able to pull the idea together and create something today that I think is going to be one of our paramount business opportunities for Alexander in the future.
So from a stakeholder perspective, private industry sees the benefit of working with the nation. And the clients in the marketplace see the benefit of working with the nation to A, help them grow their businesses, but also from a client perspective, holding them accountable to their ESG and other programs that they're measured against in the public realm. So manufacturing high-density pipe is the first step that the nation has taken to this level. The nation has got a taste of that through the Alexander Valve business. This further iteration of manufacturing brings it to a brand new level in terms of the robustness that the business can bring to the marketplace, the complexity of the clients that require the product. The nation, as an example, has a very strong relationship with Dow, and Dow's Path to Zero project that's coming on over the next number of years is going to produce what Dow will say to be the world's first net zero carbon resin product. Our facility, under the leadership of the Alexander First Nation, will be able to take that resin and produce and sell to the world's first net zero carbon pipe. Recognizing the importance of climate management and our impact onto the footprint of Mother Earth. So to be able to tie the future on the production side into a continuation of managing our impact onto the Earth and to the environment is very important for us. We're also focused heavily on continued growth, on job creation and training for the nations.
When you think of hope, when you think of resilience, when you think of being able to grow up in a better world, you want to have these opportunities.
So those types of things, as we start to move forward with Alexander Tubular, to me just brings a tremendous amount of future growth and opportunity that arguably today I'd have a hard time envisioning, other than to say the future is endless. And I think the nation's poised to be able to take advantage of tremendous growth, to be able to support their 4 pillars of community engagement, job creation, skill development, and revenue generation to support nation activities.
My name is Clay Purdy, so I've been in the energy industry for over 30 years. Chemical industry specifically for a little over 15 years. So my background in the chemical industry started when I left Saudi Arabia running a large underbalance reentry drilling project there. We founded Fluid Energy Group. Exited that business about 1.5 years ago, which gave us the opportunity to look at partnering with First Nation after reviewing and identifying who we thought was very advantageous and exciting to work with, which is Alexander First Nation. During COVID, we worked very closely with Health Canada and were awarded almost a $100 million hand sanitizer contract. Part of the proceeds from that contract we took and built a GMP manufacturing facility called Science Pack. That business was the business that we ended up creating the limited partnership with Alexander First Nation. The relationships we developed over the last 10+ years in the chemical industry, we are utilizing a lot of those existing relationships for Alexander Chemical. A good example is Brenntag. We have a strategic partnership with Brenntag, which is the world's largest chemical distribution company. So not only distributing, but also utilizing our scientists on staff and generating intellectual property within Alexander Chemical. So that strategy is focused on upstream energy, retail distribution, as well as the fuel distribution. So continue to expand into those markets, all of which are multi-billion-dollar markets, and we see our business expanding into the likely many hundreds of millions of dollars per year in top line revenue. We're really excited to work with Alexander Business Corporation and the nation. Alexander's business savvy and their breadth of business offerings is very interesting to us because we're able to capitalize on a lot of existing relationships that Alexander Business Corporation has developed over the prior few years. And a good example is the safety business and our hand sanitizer offerings. You know, those products go hand in hand, pardon the pun. So there's a lot of excitement between industry and end users and distribution, as well as our friends within the provincial and federal government space.